Hello, welcome to this course of Symfony. In this course, we will create a simple blog. It might be useful for beginners who want to see how to create a project from scratch with Symfony, how to create controllers, how to create different components, and to deal with the database, to see the front and the back side of Symfony. So the first step is to set up the project. For that, I will go to the terminal. I will choose a folder. I will choose the desktop and then use the command line to create this project. So I can use the command line of Symfony, so you have to install Symfony CLI, or I can also choose to work with Composer. With Symfony, we make something like this: Symfony new. It's like Symfony new project. Then the name of your project, in our case it's blog, then hyphen full, to get a website application from scratch with different components. The problem with this command that while creating, you're not seeing many details about the creation, about the packages that are added to your projects. So it might be better to use Composer. It's equivalent to the first one. So Composer creates project Symfony website skeleton, then the name of your project, blog. And now we see the different packages that are added to our project. The project is ready now. I can open it with the text editor. So I will go to the text editor and I will choose PHP Storm. Can you choose any other one? Visual Studio Code, Sublime Text, or any other text editor. In PHP Storm, I will choose to open a project because my project is existing on my desktop. So I will go there. I named it blog, so I will open it. This is the tree of our project, and let's create our first controller. To create a controller, we will go to the folder controller, and we will add a file here. We can add it manually, but also we can add it with the terminal. So I can come back to the terminal and go to my project, which is in desktop blog. Then here create the controller. To create a controller in Symfony, we use this command line: php bin console make controller. Then we give the name of the controller that should end with controller. I will name it post controller because in this controller I will want to manage my posts, listing them, editing, creating. So I will name it post controller. Two files were created. One postcontroller.php and the index.html.twig that is related to this controller, because the controller in the basic case, it returns a twig page. As we see here, we have our new controller, post controller. The controller is this method index that returns a response, and the response here is this page. This render controller is coming from abstract controller. Our controller here, post controller, extends this one, and this one contains many features that can be used here. One of them is render. So if we go to this page, index.html.twig, it's here in the templates folder. We have post and then index.html.twig. It extends the base.html.twig. This is the basic page of our front side. Then we can find the controller name that has been defined in the controller, this one. If we want to see this in action, we have just to launch the server. So I will go again to my terminal and use Symfony serve. Then if I go to this local host, I will see my project in action. This is it. This is the home page with this Symfony welcome message. This is the version of Symfony that we are using. To see our post projects in our database, I will go to this path, posts. I will add posts. And then there is an error related to the database. So I will just go to my env file where I define the different informations related to the database. And here I will define the type of my database, the username, the password, and all the informations for connection to the database. Here by default, there is a database URL related to PostgreSQL, but I don't want to use that database, so I will comment it and then go here and get rid of this comment here before MySQL database URL. The DB user, in my case, is root. I don't have a password, and the name of my database will be blog. So I will add this database to phpMyAdmin. I will go and open phpMyAdmin. Here, as you see, I don't have the database blog. I will have to use a command line to add it. In this part of my terminal, I'm using the server. So I will go to another terminal and go to the same folder. So it's desktop blog, and then use this command line, php bin console doctrine database create. This will create our database in phpMyAdmin. Database created. If I go back to phpMyAdmin and refresh the page, I will see that there is a blog database created here. So I will refresh my page now and see the result. And here is my front page. This is the controller name, and this is the text that we have seen in index.html.twig for the posts. I will go back and add a personalized text here in index.html.twig. I will delete all this. I will just delete the body, and then I will add a h1 my posts, and then refresh the page. This is my text. For my blog, I want to add the header, so I will use Bootstrap, and I will use a library of Bootstrap named Bootswatch. In this one, I can find many themes that can be used in our project. I will choose one of them and add it. I will go to the themes page, and here is the list of the available themes. I will choose one of them, for example, this one. To import it in my CSS, I will go here and open this bootstrap.min.css in a new tab. Here it is, and the link related to it is this one. So I will go back to my base.html.twig, come here to style sheets and add a link, and the href is this one. So if I go back to my home page, I will realize some modification. Yeah, the color has changed. So that means that the Bootswatch now is used in our websites. I will add a header used by all the pages of my websites. So I will go to the theme that I have chosen and add this header. To add it, just click here and copy the content. I will copy it, then go and paste it here. So I will just add it here before the blog body. So if I go to my website, I see that it was added here. This is the static header that I have taken from this theme here. So I don't need this search button, and I will rename these ones. So the first thing that I will modify is this text here, navbar. I will name it like my blog. This one will be the home page. I can name it posts because it's where we find the different posts. Then I will make a login page, a register page. Then I will add logout. Then I will add a new link, create a post. We will not see all these buttons together. Their displaying will be related to the current state of our connection. If we logged in, we can see, for example, create a post and logout. Otherwise, we will see register and login. Okay, I will get rid of this li here and see the result. Okay, I will get rid of this form as I have said for the search. And now I have these links. Now they contain nothing, but it's just the static side of our header. Now I will add the first article here. It will be static, but then I will make it dynamic with the data coming from the database. Okay, in my index.html.tree, under this title, I will add a section. This section, I will give it the class posts, like this. Then I will make article. In article, there will be a div metadata. In this div, I will just put a creation date statically, like this. For example, 2021, October 15th at 10:30 by John, for example. This is the date of creation. Under the date of creation, I want to add a category. So for the category, I will use a badge here, one of these badges. These badges here, I will give it this color, success. So I'll just grab this one and paste it here. And the category, for example, is sports. Then I want to put the number of comments. For this post, for example, we have 5 comments. Then I will add the content of the post. So div, I will give it the class content. In this class content, I will add an image. I will take a static image from Pixum. Anyone, I will choose this one, for example. I will add it here. And then under the image, I will put a text. For the moment, just a lorem ipsum text. And then I will have a link to go to read the details of this post. So I will add a, and then I will add a path to go to read more. And the text here will be read more. Okay, this is an example of a post in the home page with a portion of the text here. We will not add all the text if it's long, so we will see in Twig how to choose just a piece of the text to display. Then to get all the details in the comments, we will go to go more. Okay, let's see the results of what we have created. So I will go to my home page, and this is what I have just created. I forgot to add the title, so I will just go back here and add a h2 before this div and give the title. Here is my title, And I can maybe get rid of this h1 for the moment. And now I will add some CSS. Before adding that, I will go to the base.html. The body I'm using here, as you see, is very close to the borders. So I will put it in a container. So I will, everything in my website here, after the header, I will put it in a div with container class. And this is the result. I will add some CSS. The CSS I'm adding is very minimum, so I will not use Encore to add it in assets. I will just add it in the same page that I want to use. I will just add a style here and add some CSS lines. The lines I want to add are related, first of all, to these posts. So I will write it like this: posts. I want a border radius of 10 pixels. Then I want a box shadow like this: 0, 40 pixels, 16 pixels, and then the color RGBA. I will choose 0, 0, 0, and 0.25. Then a margin bottom of 20 pixels, and then a padding of 40 pixels as well. Let's see the result. Here is the result. And then I want to put some space between the image and this date. So I will go directly to the image and give it a class of empty3. Empty3 is margin top in Bootstrap. Yeah, and even margin bottom MB3 as well, to have some space here under the image. Here it is. And then I want to modify the width of this image just to make it wider. Here I will give it 400 and 200 pixels of height. So I'll modify like this: 300 and 200 here for the height. Yeah, and then just give a border radius here to the image. So I will go directly to the image and add border radius of 10 pixels and a box shadow as well with the same value here. Yeah, this is the result. I think I will not use the box shadow for the image. Yeah, this is maybe better. So this is our homepage. We will have a list of these posts. So for the moment, because I am not in the dynamic side, I can just use this section here, copy it, paste it to have many static posts, and our posts will be like this. So I will add just some space here between the different posts. So I will go here to the posts and maybe add a margin top of 40 pixels. Is it giving a result? Yeah. I will reduce the shadow here to maybe 10 pixels. Yeah. It looks better. Okay, now I will go to the initial state. I will just get rid of these static posts and just select the first one, because later I will add the dynamic side. So the data will come from the database and we will not need this repetition of posts. We will continue with the static side of our website, and I will create the details page. To create the details page, I will create its controller. I will add the controller here, so I will start with the annotations. The route is posts, and then I want to have an ID of posts. So the ID will be variable when I take posts from the database, but now I will make it static. Just I will give it the value 10, and I will give a name to this route, and the name I want to give is post show, because this controller shows the details of the posts. Then I will add the controller public function, and I will name it show. For now, it doesn't take any arguments, and it returns a response, and I might precise this here with return, and it will be a response. And then in the body of this function, I will just return a twig page. So I will use this method here, this window coming from abstract controller window. The path of the page will be posts. It will be in the same folder here, and I will name it show.html.twig, and that's it. I will create it here. New file. The name of the file is show.html.twig, and here is my page. It extends the base, so I will use this line here. I will just grab it from the index.html.twig and paste it here, and then I can add a title to my page, and the title here is post show, and for this one it's home page. And then the body block body, I will close this body with end block. Yes, and in this body I can make the content. The content will be very similar to what we have here, so I will use it to go faster. The difference between these two sections, that in this section we have just a piece of the text here, and here I will have the whole text, and then I will add the comments. For the comments I will add a h2 title here and the number of comments, just like for example 5 comments. Then I will add a section for these comments, so section without a class, and then I will add the different comments here. So I will add a div with the class card header. In this card header I will add the name of the author of the comments. Then I will add the date of this comment, for example in 21 October 16th at 11:40. Then the content of the comment, I will make it in a div with the class card body. Then in a p tag I will make a text, lorem ipsum for the moment. I will go to this page and see what is its content right now. To see the content of this page, I will go to the path that I have precised previously and see its content. Now, there is an error. This error is because of the return type hinting that I have made. For the moment, we will go without type hinting. That's not a good practice, but later we will see how to make all this. But now we want our content to be displayed, so I will just get rid of it for the moment, and then I will be back to it. This is the content of our page. We have the post and we have the comment, and then we can add comments to this one. I will add the piece of CSS, just the same one here. From style, I will grab style and go to show. Here I will add this tag. Just here I will rename it post, because now it represents only one post. And then this is my post, and this title, I will make it a little bit far away from the content of my post. So class, I will make empty 5. Same thing for the section. Yes, and now there is some space between the different parts. Now let's make things more dynamics. Let's populate our posts page. So this is my home page, but the home page should be here, not on this path. And here I have this welcome page of Symfony. To modify this, I will go to my controller, and if I get rid of this post here, the home page of the website will take this controller. If I refresh, I have my home page here. So for the details, now I will populate this page dynamically. To do that, I will use a doctrine. And first of all, I will create my first table in the database that represents my my post. So I will go back to the terminal. In the terminal, I will put php bin console make entity. Make an entity will create a file that will be added to this folder here, entity, and it will be just a class with getters and setters. Okay, to create an entity, I will use the command line php bin console make entity, and I will give the name of my entity, so it will be post, because it represents a post. I can make it in one line, or I can make entity and then add the class that I want to add. Okay, so then I'm asked to add the different fields, the different properties, but I want to add them manually. So thank you maker. I will go to the entity, then I will find the post that I have just created. One property now is the ID and its getter. The first property I want to add is the title. So for the title, I say that it's an norm column, and its type is string. Its length is 255. Okay, that's all. Then it's a private property named title. Okay, the second one is the content. So I will just use some copy paste, and the type here is a text. No need for this length, and it's named content. This is the property representing our text, the text that we have made in p tag. Then created at, which is a date time. So here column type date time, and its name is created at. For the category, I will make another entity only for the category, and I will set up the relation between the two entities. I will just reorganize things. Here I have private ID, title. I will make the content after the title. So I will search for content. This is git content, and I'll take this property content and make it after the title. So just here. Created that. Same thing. I will put it after the content, and then I will start with getters and setters. And the first getter should be the ID getter. Okay, this is our first entity. I will try to send this to a database. So I will use PHP bean console make migration. This will generate a file in the migration folder. I will go to migrations and I will find my query here, the query that is going to the database. So you see here, create table, post, and then I see the properties that will be created in the database. So I will go there and say PHP bean console doctrine migrations migrate. Then I will be asked if I want to send this to database. I will say yes, and then I will check in my database if these properties are there. I will go to the blog, and if I open blog, I can find posts here. So post with the structure, ID, title, and content. Okay, in my homepage I have title, for which I have created something database, created at the content, but I didn't add image, for instance. I will let it static. Then I will use a bundle to make it dynamic. For the category, I will have a list of categories. These categories might be repeated for posts. One category can be related to a lot of posts. One post can be related only to one category. So I will make an entity named category. I will go back to my terminal, say PHP bean console make entity category, and then, as I have done with the post, I will go back to the entity for the category. I will add a property. This property will be rm column, and its type is string. Its length is 255. Then it's a private property title. Then I will generate its getters and setters. So I will go to generate getters and setters for the title. Okay. I will just put it here after the get ID. Now I have created these two entities. Between category and post, as I have said, there is a relation because one category can have many posts. One post can have only one category, but I will not set the relation now in code. I will wait until arriving to the point where we will see the importance of this relation. So now I will populate this table in the database as we see now. There is a table post, but it's without data. So I will populate it with some dummy data. I need two things. The first thing is the bundle named doctrine fixtures. So we install it like this with Composer. Composer require rm fixtures. It's only used in the dev env. So I will add it here. When it's done, I will have a new folder in my project named fixtures. This is the src, and this is the data fixtures, like this. Okay, so now we can use this method load, which take as an argument manager. Manager, it's for doctrine to send data to the database. Now I want to add data to my database. So here I can say that a post is equal to a new post, and it will be imported here. It will be used here. Then I will delete this, and I will say that this post will have a title with the method set title that we have put in here in a post. So the title is title 1. Then I will add a content for the post. So set content. The content will be content for the post. Then I will add a date of creation. Post set created at, and I will give it the time of now. So new date time. Okay. And then this must be sent to the database. So I will use manager, and in manager there is a method named persist, and this will be what will be persisted is this object post that we have just constructed here. Post. Okay, now I can send this to the database. So I will use the command line php bin console doctrine fixtures load. I will be asked if I want to purge. Yes. Okay, so now I'm supposed to find this in my database. So I will go there and go to post. When I click post, I find one post here. Okay, but the problem here that we have created only one post. Okay, to create many posts, we will just choose the number that we want to create. In my case, for example, I want to create, for example, 20 posts. I will use a for loop. I is equal to 1. I want to start from 1. I less or equal to 20. I plus plus. What I want to do is to paste what I have just grabbed. I want to create a post 20 times here. Instead of say 1 here, I will make it dynamic. So I will just put here I. So when I is 1, here we'll have title 1, and so on for the post number I, and created at, I will let it like this. And I will persist the post and then flush it in the database. I will go back to my terminal and run the same command line. I will say yes. Now I'm supposed to have 20 posts. And this is it, title 1 until title 20, content for the post number 1 until 20. Okay, I want to display this in my home page. To display it in my home page, I will go to my controller. I go to the controller here. In the controller, in the post controller here, in my controller here, I want to get all the posts in the database. There are many ways to get this, but the rule is that we will use the repository. The entity here is related to this repository. For every entity created, there was a repository created. For the post, the repository is post. Now, as we see, it doesn't contain any custom thing, but it has its own methods like find all. So the target now is to grab it here, to be able to use it here in the controller. There are many ways. We can make a constructor, and in the constructor we can use this repository. We can also use the Git repository from the entity manager, and we can inject this service here, because here it is like a service. So in index here we will say post repository, then we will use it here, post repository, and this is the type hinting, and the name of our variable will be post repository. And if I make a variable here named post, I will say that it is equal to post repository, the object that we have here. And now we are able to use all the methods contained in that one. So as we see here, there is a find all. Okay, find all. It should give us an array of objects of all the posts that we have in the database. To see the content before returning this page here, I will just dump it. I will dump it to see the content. Dump, then die. The execution will be stopped here at this level. Posts. I want to see what is the content of this. So I will go to my home page and refresh. And when I refresh, I have the 20 posts, because here we start from 0. So this is the content of the first one, title 1, title 2 until title 20. Okay, so now I can show these posts in my home page. I don't want to use this variable controller name here. I don't need it. So in this window, the first argument is the path to the page. Then I can use an array of parameters, as you see here. This is the array of parameters, and I can give the name of the variable I want to use. I will call it posts, and its value will be these posts here. So now I am able to use this variable here in my home page. To see that in action, I will just use dump here, dump in twig posts. And if I refresh, I see here the same thing that I have seen in my controller. So now I can use it here in this page. As we have seen, I have 20 posts. So to use these posts here, I have 20 posts in this object post. So I will make a loop here. It's a loop like for each. It's in a twig, so I will say for one post in posts. Posts is my variable. Then I will make end for. Okay. In this loop, I will make this section and replace the static values with the values coming from the database. For example, title will be post title. Here, for the date I will make it like this. Post created at. Okay. Here by John. The comments, I will let it static for the moment. Then this text, I will replace it with the text in my database. Okay, so it will be post content. I will see the result. If this is an object created at is an object, and it cannot be displayed like this. So I will have to use a filter to choose the part that I want. So here I want only the month, the year, and the day. So I will say that the format will be here. I will use year, month, day, at, and then the same variable, but now I will just change the filter for the hours and minutes. HI. Okay, is it better now? Yes, now I have title 1. This is the date of creation. Title 2 until the last one, title 20. Okay, now I want to go and read details of this one. Now we can make this better by using a bundle named Faker that will allow us to use dummy data like real data. To use this bundle, I will install it with this composer line here. I will go to the terminal, composer require faker. When it's installed, I can use it in my fixtures class. I will go back to fixtures, up fixtures, and here I will initialize faker like this. Faker factory. And what I will create in it is just a faker with the language English. For the title, I will use a sentence of 3 words. So faker, sentence, and I will precise the number of words in it. For the content, I will use text of 500 letters. So I will say faker text, and then precise the number of letters in this text, number of characters. The date time, I will use different dates in the last 3 months. So I will say faker dates time between, and here are precise minus 3 months, and then persist this and flush it. So I will repeat what I have done for the fixtures here. Fixtures load, and I will say yes. And if I check the database, I will see that things now are modified. The title is different, there is a content, and there are different dates in the last 3 months. And here, if I go back, I will see that these differences are coming to our database. This is a different title, different dates, different text, and so on, as you see. Okay, I will make this category dynamic, so I will create some dummy categories and then use them here. Okay, so as I have said, there is a relation between a category and a post, and this relation I can make it here in the entity. In the entity post, I will go and create a property, and this property I will name it category. Okay, category. Then I will precise its type here. Category. This category is a relation. So I will add ORM, not column, but a relation, many to one, because one category can have many posts, and one post can only have one category. So many to one, we have to precise the target entity. The entity that is related to this is category class. Then it will be inversed by another property that represents the article, the posts. So I will add inversed by posts. Okay, then I will go to category and add the property posts. So I will add it just here. I will name it posts, and it will be one-to-many relation, and the target entity this time will be posts class. Then it's mapped by category, it's mapped by the property that we have added in the post entity. Okay, now I will generate the getters and setters for this category. Here I will go to generate getters and setters for category. Here is the get category and then the set category. I will grab it from here and make it in the last level here. The same thing for the posts here. I will generate get as and set as. Okay, posts and set posts. The set posts, I will replace it with add post that allows to add one post related to a category, and it will take a post, and in this method we want to add a post to a category, the post related to this category. So the first thing that we want to check is that this post, the current post, is not present in the posts related to this category. So to do that, we will need to say if this posts, so the current post is not contained in the current posts related to this category. This post represents the posts related to the current category, and this is the current post. If it's not already present, we need to add it. So it's an array. To add it to add to an array, we use like this. What we will add is the current posts, and then we will add into this current post we will add a category. So there is set category, the setter that we have added, and what we will add is the current category here, this class, and this class is represented by this, and then we will return this. Okay, in the case of removing, we check the opposite thing. We check if the post is present. So public function remove post, and what it takes is it takes an argument, a post. So what we will check is the presence of this post in the posts related to the current category. So just the opposites of this. If that condition is true, we will use a method named remove element. So this posts remove elements post, and then if post get category is equal to the current category, we will set the category to null. After deleting the post, we delete the category related to it. Then we'll return this. Now we will need to add these modifications to the database. So I will use PHP bin console make migration. Okay, I have this error here. It's related to what I have put here. It's not a string, just like this. And then I will rerun. And now the same error, but this time related to category. So I will go to post. Maybe I have done the same thing there. So I will make it just like here. And now the migration was created. PHP bin console. Doctrine, migrations, migrate. We can abbreviate things like this. D for doctrine, M for migrations, M for migrate, and then let's make yes. And now we should have the relationship established between the two entities, two to check that, I go back to my post controller, and here I will make a dump-in die. I can replace that with dd to see the content of posts, and now I am supposed to have a category related to it. Yes, this is the category here. For the moment it's null because we didn't fulfill it in the fixtures class, but we can do that right now. Okay, I will go back to the categories, and now I will go back to the fixtures, and here, as you see, I have made a loop for the posts. I will make another loop. This time will be just for the categories. I will make it for the moment. I will make it independent. So for, and I will use another letter j in this case from 1 to 5. So j is less or equal to 5 j plus plus. What I will do is I want to construct a new category. So category is equal to new category. Yeah, and then I will say category set title. Did I name it title? I will go back here. Category, the first one is title, yes. Set title. I don't have the auto completion because I didn't import it here, so I will import it. Up entity, and then category. So when I import it, PHP Storm will make the auto completion. So set title, and I will use fake again. And what I will use is a word, just a word like this. Then I will persist this category. This time will be category, and then go back to the command line and use doctrine fixtures load. It's like this, and then I can use -n to not see the message that comes next, but I want it, no problem. Yes, and now I will go to the database and see that my category now is not empty. I have 5 categories. Okay, but in the posts, the category ID is always null because I didn't make any relation between these categories, this category and the posts. Okay, so to make that relation, I will make a loop in a loop, because here the two loops are independent. So the posts are created, then the categories are created. But I know that to every category, I can have many posts. To one post, I can have only one category. So I will start with this loop. In this loop, I will add the other one. Okay, so first of all, I will just make here 4. But as I comes before j, I will take the letter here and the letter j and replace it with I here, I, and the I here, I will replace it with j, just to respect the order. Okay, here I create a category, and then I persist the category, no problem. Then I can add a comment. Add a post. The post is related to this category. For I equal to 1, I will add a title, and then I will add the posts related to this category. So I will not make 20 posts for every category, but only like 7 multiplied by 5. I'm supposed, I think, to have 35 posts at the end. for this category, for the category number I will create a category and I will create 7 posts. And here I will make the relation between the two entities. Here I will say in a post that for every post, the category is the object category, like this, okay? And I will repeat this. I will repeat this command line here. And now I'm supposed to have categories here. I will refresh my page, and now this post is related to the category with the ID 6. So for everyone we have created 7, as I have said. Okay, and now I can use this relation in my displaying here. Okay, so now I have this static category, but now I will make it dynamic by going here to the index.html.twig, and the category is sports here, but now I know that the post has a category, so I'll go to post and then say category, but it's an object, not an object, and we cannot display the whole object here, so we'll have an error. So the solution for that is to go to inside the category and display one property. What we want to display is the title, so we'll have different categories. This category here that is repeated 7 times, then we go to the next 7 times until the last one. Here we have the different categories. Now I want to go and read more about this post. To do that, I will go back to my controller and make things dynamic this time, instead of the ID that I have added. So here in the post controller, I will come here and say that the route here is post, and then I want a variable named post ID. To get the post that corresponds to this ID, there are many ways. We can use the param converter. Param converter, we add a post here as an argument. Here, a post of the entity post, and I will name it post. If I dump its content, Symfony will understand that this one is related to this ID. So if I go to post and choose an ID existing in the database, for example, I will choose 64. For 64, I will find the post that is related to the ID 64. Another thing that we can do, we can use the object request. So the object request of HTTP Foundation, and in this object we have all the arguments here, the parameters in the route. So like this. So the post ID is equal to request attributes, and then I will get the parameter ID. The post ID is equal to request attributes, then get ID. I will just add my dump and die of my post ID. So here I'm supposed to get 64. If I make here 65, I have 65. So I want to get the post related to that. I can use repository. So here as an argument, I will use post repository as I have done here. And then I will say that the post is equal to post repository find, for example, find the post ID. So it will return the post ID, then post. I want to see the content of this post. It should be, I want to see the content of this post. So here I have the post related to this ID. Then in what I returned here, I can add the array of arguments, of parameters. I will just say that post is equal to post. So in my page show.html.twig, I can use this object. So I go there. Here for the title, I will just have to use the post title. In here, I will just take what I have done in the home page and put it here. Same thing for the category. And then for the content, I will just make a p tag like before, and I will put in it posts content. Okay. And now if I go to the content here, I have the content of 65. If I go to 64, I have another content related to 64. Then I will personalize the comments and relate comments to this post. I go to the home page, and read more now is not rendering the right page, so I will modify that to render the right page. So here I will go to the index.html.twig, and here I will say that in this one I will add a path. Path is a trigger function, and I will give the name of that I given in the controller. So it was post show. So here post show. Then the ID, I will precise the ID. It will be equal to the ID that is in this post object here. So now, if I refresh this, here I go to the ID number 62, here for the ID number 63. Yeah, and that's it. Now I can go dynamically between the home page and the details page. The next step is to create a pagination system for our home page to be able to see only, for example, 5 or 10 posts as we want, then to be able to go from a page that contains an amount of posts to another one. For that, I will use KNP paginator bundle, and it's a bundle that is Symfony friendly and can make a simple pagination system without a lot of code. I will install it with Composer. So I will go to the terminal. Now the bundle is added to my project. I will follow the steps mentioned on the home page. I will add this YAML lines. I will add them to a KNP paginator.yaml file. I will check if I have it. If I don't, I will add it. So I go to config, and it should be in packages. Seemingly it's not here, so I will add it. Here I'll make add a new file, and I will call it KNP paginator.yaml, and then paste what I have copied from the GitHub page. So for the moment I will leave this page and go back to the GitHub page and try to see a usage example. This here is an example of what I can do with this bundle. In my method, I can get paginator interface as an argument. Then I can have a query. I have a result with, for example, some posts. Then when I have this collection of posts, I can make it here in this method paginate, and then with the requests object, I can get the number, the page number, the current page number, then the limit per page if I want 10 posts, or more than that in my home page. So I will copy this and use it with my code. So I will go back to my controller. I will close some folders. Here is my controller. Initially, I was having my posts, which is equal to post repository find all. And now I want to use this with the method paginate of KNP paginator. So I will paste this here. In my method here, I will bring paginator interface as an argument. Paginator interface, this one, KNP component pager. And I will name it paginator. Then the paginator here, the pagination, then I will go here, pagination, I will name it posts, because this is the variable that I want to use. So I will name it posts, and it's equal to paginator, this paginator, paginate, the method paginate, and my query here will be this one, will be post repository find all. This is the query that I use. And then I will use request of HTTP Foundation to get the page. So I will go here and bring request of HTTP Foundation. I will name it request, and then request query get int page 1. This is the first page, and the limit per page I will make it 5. So I will delete this initial variable, and now my posts is this one. I can dump that to see its content. So now if I go back to my home page and refresh, the result that I have is this one. I have these KNP paginator parameters, page range 5. The current page number is 1. If I put here page is equal to 2, that will change here. The current page number is 2, and the number of items per page is 5. If I modify it here to 10, for example, it will change here to 10. And the items are these ones. And this is the total account, the total of my posts. So now I will try to use that in my home page tweak page. So I will get rid of this dump and die here. This is what I will return. If I go back to my page and refresh it without this page parameter, I will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have 10 posts. If I put back 5 here, I will get only 5 posts. Okay, I will add the buttons to go from a page to another one. As we can see here, we can add that with this div, KNP pagination render method. That will take pagination, and pagination in our case is the variable that contains the collection of our posts. In our case, it is posts. So I will go back to my templates, then go ahead to index.html, and here under this section I will add, or even under the for, I will add my div with this method, and my variable is posts, the same post that I have here. Okay, I will refresh my page, and here is the result. I have these pages. Now I am on page number 1. If I want to go page number 2, I click on that page. Now I'm on page number 2, page number 3. And for these buttons, I will use Bootstrap. So I will go to the YAML file that I've created and modify things there to tell KNP paginator that I want to use a specific template. The template that I want to use is the pagination templates I want to use is this one, is KNP paginator, pagination. I will replace sliding.html.twig with this one, Twitter, Bootstrap, v4, pagination.html.twig. This will give some shape to our buttons. If I refresh the page, I have an error. Unable to find templates. Pagination, Twitter. Yeah, here is an underscore. If I refresh the page, I have these results. Now it's better. I can add some spacing here. So I will go back to my index page and add here margin top 5. Now I can go between my pages. This is page number 3, page number 4. And because I have 35 posts and 5 posts per page, the number of pages is 7. This is the last one. So the button is disabled when I arrive to the last page. And the previous page is also disabled when I am on the first page. Okay, so it might be cool to make 10 posts per page. So I will go back and modify this here. And now I have only 4 pages. The next step is to create a new post. To go to this URL on a page of creation of a new post and fill through the form and send it to the database. And then I want to see the content here on the home page. So to do that, I will go to my controller and add a new method. The method that I will add, I will name it create. So I will begin with the annotations. The route will be like post new. Then the name of this route will be post create or post new. Okay, the method here will be public function create, and it will take the request of HTTP Foundation because we will need to send a form, and then in the body of this method I will create my form. To create a form with Symfony, I can use the maker of Symfony, and that will create a class for my form with the different properties that I have in my entity. To see that in action, I go to the terminal and then hit PHP bin console, make form. Then I have this interactive message. And now I will type the name of my form, the class I want to create for my form. I will name it post type. And this form, this class is related to an entity. I want to relate it to my entity post. And now it's created successfully. I go back to my project and I will realize that there is a folder created here named form with the post type I have just created. And here I find the different properties that I have in my entity. If I go back to the controller, what I will do in my method here, the first thing that I will do here is to create a post. This represents my new post that will be sent to the database. It represents the object post that will be created, and it is equal to new post. Then I will initialize my form like this. This is my form. It is equal to this create form. This create form is coming from the abstract controller that we extend here, and it takes many arguments as we see here, it takes at first a type, and then the type here in my in my situation is the form type that I have created, and the data, which is represented here by my post. So the first thing that I will inject here is the post type class, and let's not forget to always import the classes that we use here, otherwise that will not work. And then the data, which is here, post. Okay, I initialized my form, then I have some other logic to add, but before that, what I should return here is a page, and this page is named posts. I will put it in the same folder as my other files, post new.html.twig. I will create it. So here I create a new file. I will name it new.html.twig. Of course, it extends the base.html.twig, and it has a title. So I will go here and add these two lines, and here create a post. Then I will have the body, so block body. Then I close this block and block, and in this tag I will add a h1, add a post, for example. Then I will use two helpers from Twig. The first one is form start, and it will take in argument my form, and the form is the one that I put in my controller, this form. So I will add it here, form is equal to form. Then here I will add another helper, it's named form widget, and the last one is form end, and it takes form as an argument. This is the beginning of my form, this is the end, and this represents the different properties that I will add. Those fields are represented by this form widget, which will take what is in post type, these fields, and display them here. After these fields, I can make a button with class btn success, and the text, the content is add. I will go back to my controller. After initializing my form, I use this method handle request, which take an argument request. Then if my form is submitted, and if it's valid, is valid, if these two conditions are right, I can start to add my data to the database. So here I want to see the content of my form, so I will dump that. So I will go ahead to the path that I have added here, post new. Yes, here we have a common thing between these two paths. So the path of the post show and the post new, they both start with posts. So I will put this one here before to go to it. Okay, I will go back and refresh my page. Okay, now I have another problem. It's a typo here. I will correct that. It's form end. Refresh. Yeah, this is due to the form, the variable form that I have put in my return. So here I made form, but actually it's equal to form something, create view. That's it. This error, it's due to the fact that category is an object and there is a relationship between category and post. So it could not be converted to string because actually it's an object. So I have to take just one property, like for example title, and replace what I have put in the post type with that one, and let's make that in post type. To do that, I go to category here and I add entity type, class, and then I give some parameters. The class that is related to this one is category, so just like that, a key. The key is class and the value is category. Then I will use a choice label. Title in my case. I'll go back to my browser. We didn't see the result of dump because we are not yet at the level of is submitted and is valid. What I put in my controller here is I dump the content of form when I have these two conditions, is submitted and is valid. So I will go to title, make title test, content test, and let us see the content of our form. We see that we have many parameters and one of them is data. Yeah, this is the content of my form, and if I want to see the data that is included in this form, I use this method, get data. I will repeat what I have already done, test post, content test. These are the data that I am sending to the database. This is the category and its title. At this level, I will just send these data to the database. If I want to send what is in my form to the database, I will just use the entity manager, which is equal here to this get doctrine, and from doctrine I will have get manager to be able to use the different methods like persist and flush. I will use persist to persist the object post, and then flush to add a record in the database entity manager flush. What I will add in my form is title, content, and the category. Here we have the list of the available categories in the database. The created at, I want my date of creation, I want it to be added dynamically. I want it to be added automatically with the creation of my form. So I will go back to the post type and delete the created at from here. So when I refresh, I will have my three properties without the created at, and then I will go to the controller and I will say, before sending this to the database, I will just add a created at to the post. So post set created at to a new date time, and that's it. That will create automatically a date of creation to the post added to the database. And now I will try to send a post to the database. So I will add a test title, then a test content, then a category, and send it. Now it should be in the database. I will go to phpMyAdmin, and in the blog database I will go to the post table. In the post table, the last one that was added should be test title. That's it. and the date of creation was added automatically, and this is the ID representing the category. So my post was added successfully. To have a better design here, I will use a Bootstrap form theme. So I will go to the page of new post, then I will add this line. So form theme form Bootstrap for layout .html.twig. That should give a better result. Yes, I have this result. I will add some spacing here. Okay. Now I have the title, the content, and the category. After adding a post to the database, I want to redirect to the home page. I'll go back to the post controller, and here, when everything was done, I will say this redirects to route. I will give the name of the route, which is here post. Okay, I will add a post test 2, post content 2. This is the category, and when I add it, redirection didn't work yet. That is because I didn't add return, because this should be return. So 3, because the 2 was added to the database. Okay, and my last post is this one, is post test 3. I can find here test post 2 and test title, the 2 that I have already added to my database. And of course I can go to the details of every one of those comments. Now I want to edit the posts that I create. So almost the same thing. I will just add annotation, post ID, then I will add edit, and the name will be post edit, and the function will be public function edit. It will take 2 things. First of all, the post that I want to edit. Second thing, request, because I am sending a post request. Here I need the form, which will be this create form, and it will take the post type, then what I want to modify, which is this post. So I give it here as a second argument. Then I handle the request. And then I say that if this form is submitted and form is valid, if these 2 things are right, then I need the manager. I need these 3 lines. I will put them here, and before that I might need to persist something, which is post, and before that I might have something to add, or if I just want to send what is in the form data, I can do that. What I will do is I will create a page for this. So return this render, and the name of the page is edit.html.twig, and then I will have to add 2 things. The first thing is the post, which is here, post, then the form. So form here I will name it edit form, and it will represent the form that I have created here. form. So if I want to use this variable form in this page, I should use this variable. Now I will create that page. It's named edit.html.twig. I will use the base.html in it. I will need to use the layout as well, and it has a title. So I will go to this page and modify this one to edit a post. And then here, the block body will contain my code. I will add a title. And then it's the same thing as here. I will use form start, form widget, and a button for sending the form. So what I will start is not form, but what I have precised here in the controller, it's edit form. So I will go to the edit page and modify that. Edit form. Edit. Okay. So if I go back to my controller, when the data is submitted and valid, I want to see the content of my form with form gets data. So I will try to go to this path, post, the ID of the post, and then edit. The ID of this one is 97, as you see here. So I will add edit, and now I am on the page of edit. So the error message is unable to find template edit.html.twig. So maybe I made a mistake in writing the name of the page here, edit.html.twig. No problem in this. And here it's edit.html.twig. Here I have edit.html.twig. In my render, I wrote the name of the page, but I didn't precise the whole path, which begins with post. Okay, form. I used form here. I don't have the right to do that because I named it edit form. So here form is edit form. If I refresh, yeah, I'm doing the same error here. In my controller, I'm repeating maybe the same error. I always forget to use create view here. And now I have the content of this post, the post number 97. So here I will add modified, here edited, and here I will use a new category. And if I hit edit, I will have the content of my new object, the object 97 that I want to edit. And these are the new data. This is the category, this is the title, and this is the content. Okay, I will just get rid of this line and then send this one to the database. So I will hit edit. So after that, I will redirect to this same post, but this time the page show to see the new content. To do that, I will make here return this. We direct to route. The name of the route is this one, post show. Post show is the name of the route, but I need to precise the ID of the post, because here I have an ID. So I will add it like this. ID is equal to post get ID. This will redirect us to the post show, and the ID will be the ID of this post, the post that I'm using here. So I will hit edit. Okay, and now I have an error because I didn't well end the line, so I will end that, and I will refresh, and then when I edit, now I go to the post number 97 with my new title and with my new content. So if I go to the home page and choose any one, like 62 for example, I can edit it when I go to edit, now edited, and I will add here edited, I will add it at the end. The same thing, I have the new data related to my post. Now I will add the right path to this button, create post. So I will go to the base.html.twig. Then for create post, I want it to go to path. I will give the name of the path and it will be post add post new. That's the name of the path. So now if I click on create post, I should go there. Yeah, I can add my post. And now if I go to the show page, when I'm on the show page, I will get rid of this read more and replace it with edit to the right path. So I go back to my show.html.twig. I don't need read more because there is no more. I would just add edit the post, and here I will use that helper path, and the path is post edit, and the ID is, I hope it's like this, ID is post ID. So if I refresh, edit the post, it goes to the edit post like this. Now I want to add notification after the creation of my post, the creation of the editing. So I will use the flash messages of Symfony. They are coming from the abstract class, so I can find them in the controller. They are coming from the abstract controller. They are here, flash messages. They are easy to use. Just I add this line because they are coming from abstract class. We can use this object, which is extending abstract class. There is a method named addFlash, and it takes a type and a message. So I go back to my controller. Here, after the adding of my new post, I will add this message. The type is success, it's not notice, and my message to display to the user is your post was added. And then to display that to the Twig part, I use these lines. So I go to the page to which we redirect after the creation of our post. In this case, it's the home page. So I go to the home page, and before this for, I add these lines. And in my case, I will show this message only if there is a type success, and the class that I will give here is success. So I will go and create a new post for testing notification test. I will give a category, and then I have this message, your post was added. So in Bootstrap, I don't know if there is this class, so I will check that. It's like an alert. So I want this kind of messages. So the success. So the class should be alert success. So I will go back here and replace this one with this one coming from Bootstrap. And if now I create a new one, new test, I have this message. So I will just add some spacing to have it here. and maybe text center to have it here in the center. I will add the same thing for editing. So I go back to my controller, and I will grab what I added here and go to the editing method, and here, success, your post was edited. And when I redirect to the show page, I will just grab this message and show it here before starting. For this section, I will add it here. So when I go and edit a post, I must find my message here. So it's here, your post was edited. Now I will work on the comments. I have some comments belonging to a post. I need at first to create an entity for the post. The entity needs 3 or 4 things: the name of the author, the date of creation, and the content of the comment. And then this comment belongs to a post, so it will need a relation with the post. I will go to the terminal, and this time I will do everything with command line with the maker, PHP bin console, make entity. So the entity, I will precise the name of the entity that I want to create. It's comment. In this comment, I will need an author. It's a string, 252. It cannot be null in the database. The second one is created at. It's a datetime mutable. And then the content. It's a text. And then I need a post, the post to which the comment belongs. It's a relation. It's related to post. It's a many to one relation because one comment has only one post and one post can have many comments. Yeah, I will respond with yes and yes to create the relation one-to-many in the comment and in the post entity. Then I have my new entity. If I check here in the folder entity, I will find a new class comment with author, created at, content, and the post with the relation many to one, the getters and the setters. And if I go to post, there is comments because one post can have many comments, and I have the add comment and the remove comment with the getters and setters. Now I will make a migration to the database. PHP bin console, make migration. This is my new migration. Then PHP bin console, doctrine migration, migrate. I'll say yes. And now in my database, I should find my new table. My new table is comment with its several properties. Okay, I will start to add my form. I will go to my post controller as I want to add it in the show page. So I will go to the show page, and here I will add the code that is corresponding to what I want to create. So the first thing that I will do here is to initialize a comment. The comment will be equal to new comment, and let's not forget to import the entity comment. Then I need to initialize a comment form, which will be equal to this create form, and the type that I want to take is the comment type, but I didn't create it yet. If I go to the form folder, I will not find it, so I will create it with the command line. I go back to my terminal, and I will say PHP bin console, make form, and the name of my form will be comment type. I will go back here a little bit, get rid of this to not have an error. This form is related to the entity comment. So now I have it created. It's created here. Comment type with the different properties of comments. Author is a string created at content. I will get rid of created at and post because I will add them manually, in the controller. So here, my create form will take comment type as a first argument, comment type class. Then it will take the object comment. Then I will make comment form handle request of request. Then if this comment form is submitted and comment form is valid, when that's right, what I will do is that I will grab the entity manager. I will need to add this to the database. Before that, I need to say that the comment set created at, it's not comment form, but only comment set created at is equal to new date time. Then comment set post, the post is equal to the current post on which I am commenting, so it's this one. And then when I finish here, I want to remain on the same page, so I will just make a flush message here with success, and this time your comment was added. And then I want to return on the same page, the show page. So I will put that, I will precise that the comment form is equal to comment form create view. Okay, I will go back to my show page, and here I will make an HR and then a title h2 with add comments. Then I will, like what I have done with create and edit, I will grab this portion of code, and here I will say that this is representing a comment form, this one as well, and this last one. Comment form, and here I need add a comment. I go back. If I go to my browser and refresh the show page, I have no error, and I have this form here. So I will go back and say here in the show page that I want to use this theme for my comment form. So I go here under the base.html, and here my form is comment form. Yeah, that's giving a best shape to my form. So I have the author and I have the content, and this should belong to this post. So comment on post 62, comment text. I add the comment. I have an error. One argument passed to set created at. Yeah, I will just make a date immutable, new date time immutable here. And I will resend the form, and now I have that notification message. Your comment was added. Now I want it to appear here dynamically. So I will go back to my show page. Here, this static part, I will replace it with a dynamic one. In this section, I need to create something like this. I will just add a for. I want to make like a for each on the comments. One of the comments is comment in. I want only the comments that belonging to my posts. So it has comments with S, because in the entity here in the posts, I have this get comments. So I can use comments here. For this one, I will finish here and say end for, okay, and this one will be the author, comment author. This will be the date time. I will just inspire from this one. Here I will replace it. Here it's comment created at, and here it's as well comment created at, and this is the content. So in this p tag, comment content, easy to name it content. Yeah, it's content here. Yeah, I will refresh my page. I am supposed to have one comment here. I will check in my database. Oh, I don't have the comment yet in my database. That's weird. I will go back to my controller and see what is the problem. In my show, I have comment form is submitted, it's valid. Then I have comment set created at, set post to this post. What I must persist here is my comment and not the post. Yeah, so if I go back here and add my comment, I add the author and then the content of the comments. Then I have my comment added here. Second comment, I have that comment added as well with its date and its author. The number of comments here should be dynamic as well. So what I have to add here is the length of post comments, then length, and that will give the number of comments. Comments plural here. We have 2 comments, and we can do that to every post. I will make this dynamic as well. So I go to the home page here, and instead of having 5 comments, I will put the real number of comments. So here I will just have to say post comments length. So if I refresh, comments, same error. So now I have 2 comments on this one, 0 comments on this one as well. Here I have always comments. I want to change that to comment without s when I have 0 or 1. So here, instead of comments, I will delete the number here and then add this ternary operator and say if this length here is less or equal than 1, if it's equal to 0 or 1, if that's right, I will add comments. Otherwise, I will add comments. I will refresh. Then I have 2 comments here. I have 1 comment, 0 comments. And then I will use the same thing on the show page. In the show page here, I will use the same thing here for the length of comments. So when I go here, I have 0 comments. Here I have 2 comments. So I have 2 comments here, and I will do the same thing here. The number of comments. See, so now I have the right number of comments. I need just to add this length here. Okay, yeah, here. I just need to add it here. If I refresh, I have the right number of comments. 2 comments here, 2 comments here. For example, this one has 0 comments. So if I go in and add a comment, first comment, for example, comment, if I add it, everything will change to 1 comment without S. And then second comment, other, sorry. Now I have 2 comments with S. I will try to refactor a little bit here to make some space in this method because it started to have a lot of code. So I will just grab this part from here, this one, until here, and I will replace it with a method that I will name add comment. And this one I will see later what argument it needs. Add comments. So here I will make it a private function. Add comment, and its body will contain this code. So the first thing that I need is the comment form, this one. Then I need the comment that I have initialized. I also need the post. That's what I need, and it should do this. And then when I make my comment form handle request here, I will execute the code that is here. And anyway, I will return to this page and I will have my comment form. After that, I will give these comments here to my method. So the first one is comment form, the second one is the comments, and the third one is the post. And now if I go and check if the functionality of adding comment is always working, I will realize that it's always working. So this allowed me to have less code, and that will help to more understand things here. So when we can delegate some code to another method, we should not hesitate to do that. Now I would like to be able to import these images dynamically from my laptop. So to do that, I will use a bundle named vicupload bundle. I will go to its GitHub page, then go to installation procedure in docs and install it with Composer. So I will grab this line and then go to my command line and paste it here. Yeah, because it's not an official bundle, there is a question if I would like to add it. I say yes. And I'll go to my text editor and go to bundle.php and check if the line relative to vicuploader was added. It's here. So I will start using this bundle in my project. Now I will go to usage section. I will add these lines of configuration to my vicuploader.yaml. This is the file. I will delete all this and replace it with this, with these lines. This is the name of the bundle. The driver I want to use is RM. I'm using Doctrine RM entities with MySQL. For the mappings, this is a variable that I can choose. I will choose any name I want. In my case, I want to add an image for a post. So I will replace this product image with a post image. The folder I want to use to store the images is public images posts. I will put posts here as well, and I want to use a unique ID namer to have unique names for my images. So I will check the namers here. I will grab this one, unique ID namer. I will go back to my text editor and replace this smart unique namer with unique ID namer. Then I will start to interact with my entity. My entity is post. I want to add an image property to the properties that I have here: content, category, created ads, etc. So I will take this line at first because I want to use the file of HTTP Foundation, and I want to use the annotation of Vic. So I will take these two lines, I will paste them here. Then next, I will declare here the uploadable. I will make it at this level. Then I will check the image file. This is a property that remains in here in this file in the entity. It doesn't go to the database. If we look, we will not see RM here. On the other hand, we have this image name that represents only the name of the image that will be stored in the database. And this one will go to the database. There is image size, but we will not add it. I don't need it. I will add the updated ad because it's important to avoid the problem of no storing in the database. So I have to add it here. So first of all, I will take this image file property. I will take it to my text editor. Here under comments, I will add it. Then I will add image name. After image name, I will add updated ad. Like this. And here in image file, I have to precise some things. The mapping is to the variable that I have made in the file vicuploader.yml. Here I named it post image. So for the image file, I will tell the mapping here that it's mapped to post image. The file name property is this property, image name. I don't use this size, so I will delete it. Then I will take the getters and setters. From here, I will take the setter of image file, the getter of image file, the setter of the image name, and the getter of image name. I will paste them here. As I have added some properties related to the database, I will make a migration to send them to the database. So I will go like this and say PHP bin console, make migration, and then make migration migrate. So it's doctrine, migration migrate. Now in my database, I should have new properties. I have updated ad and I have image name. I fulfilled the config file, the entity, and now I will set the input that represents the image uploading. So I can go here and take these lines and go to my post type. Here, I will add them here. I have already the builder here, so I will delete it. I will just add an add. My property in entity is image file. I will use Vic image type, but let's not forget to import it. So now I have it imported here. And then I can delete some of the properties. And then if I go back and try to create a new post, I will have this button to import images. This is a post for Vic uploader. I will take a category and then choose an image. Now I can add it. Now it's added. And if I look into the database, I will see that the last post is a post with an image name. This is an image name, and the name is like this because I used the unique ID namer, and this is updated at. If I go back to my text editor and open the folder public images posts, I will find my image here. This is the image that I have added. Now I have the image and I have to display it. This is the last post, but it has the static image that I have already displayed. So to display the image, I can go to the index.html.twig, and here replace this line, this image, with a dynamic image like this. I can go from my folder public. So in public I have images, I have posts, and then I will add the name of my image like this. Post image name. If I refresh, I will find my image like this. It's very big. I will set the width and the height of my image. Width like this, 300, and height 200, like this. If I refresh, I have my image. All the other images are empty now, so I can do something like this. I can copy this line like this and go to my original situation and make here an if statement. I will say if there is a image name for a post, I will make the dynamic image. Otherwise, else, I will make the static image, and then I will close the if and if. And now if I refresh, if there is an image name in the database, I will have that dynamic image. Otherwise, I will have the static image. Instead of using images post, I can make things more dynamic by using something coming from the Vik uploader bundle. It's a function named Vik uploader asset. It takes as first argument the name of the entity post and then the name of the property image file. If I come here and refresh, nothing has changed. If I go to the details page, I have always the static image, so I will grab this from here to my show.html.twig and then replace the static image that I have already put here with the new lines. So if I refresh, I have the new image. Then I can edit the post, of course. Here I have the image like this. I have maybe to go to my post type and say here that this is false, and maybe delete, load delete false, this false. Okay, I have the image like this, false. I want to delete it from here. I don't want to see it. Yeah, now I don't have it. I can edit now. I will make this Symfony image. If I edit, I have the new image. If I go back to my home page, yeah, I want to click here to home page and post and go to the home page. So I will go to the controller like this and check the name of my route here. It's post, and then go to my base.html.twig, and I want to go, when I click on posts, I want to go to my home page. So I will make a path with the name of my route like this. Then I will grab this and make it here as well. So now if I refresh, I can go to my home page like this. Now I will create a registration form to register users. To do that, I need an entity that represents user, where we can put first name, last name, email, password, things like that. And Symfony through the command line gives the possibility to create a user with PHP bin console make user. So the entity that we will use will be named user, and we want to use doctrine with it to send data to the database. And the unique entity that we will have, the unique property that we will have is the email, no problem. And we need to hash passwords. So we will use the interface for that. Okay, that added things like the user in entity, the user repository. So we will go to our entity user and see what's there. Go to entity, user, and we realize that there is an email property that was added. Roles, to precise the role that we have, role user or role admin or other roles, the password, and we have the getters and setters for email and password, and we have these methods coming from the interface, user interface. As we have implemented user interface here, we have to use the methods that are there. We need get password. For get sort and get erase credentials, we put no content there, just because we have a contract with this user interface, so that's why we put these methods. So the next step is to create a registration form. We can do that through the command line as well. PHP bin console make registration form. So we will respond to some questions. Yes, for this one, and we don't want email verification for the moment, so I will put no. I don't want to authenticate automatically after registration, so I will put no. And after registration, I want to redirect my route to posts number 11 here, so I will type 11. Then I have a user that is updated. I have a registration form type that was created in the registration controller in register.html.twig that was created in my templates. Here we have the registration form type that was created. We have this email property, agree terms, plain password that was created with a password type with some constraint rules. And this is the registration controller. Here we have register. This is the route. The first thing that we do is we create a new user instance. Then we use a form with create form that we have already seen in the creation of forms. We handle this request, and if we have everything submitted and valid, we set the password, and here we use this interface to hash the password, to not send a plain password to the database. It takes two parameters. The first parameter is the user, and then we get this variable from the request, and then we send things to the database, and then we redirect to routes. If I go to my browser and go to register, I will have this page. I will use Bootstrap, like what I have already done in many places. I will just grab this line and go to registration, register, and paste this here. I will just check the variable here in this controller. It's named registration form, so I will go back and put here registration form and then refresh the page. I have this better looking. I have the email, I have the password, but what I would like to add is another field for repeating password and check the match. And Symfony has type for that named repeated password type. I will grab it like this from add here and take it. I will go to my registration type, my registration form type. I will replace all this with my repeated password. So here, repeated password, I have to import it, repeated type. And here I had a variable named plain password, but I'm free to call it password. So I will name it password here, but I have to modify register.html.twig here to put here password instead of plain password. And in my controller, the variable that we get here, it's not plain password, but password. Now I will go back to my register form and see what is the content. Now I have this repeated password. I will make an email here. Then I will make two different passwords and I will agree terms. Now I have this error, the password fields must match. So I will take here like test, and here test, I have the same passwords, and I will go to my controller, the registration controller. I want to get the data of my form after the submission. So I'll make dd form get data. So here I have the plain password test. If I put two different passwords, I will not arrive to that level. I will just have this error. Okay. So now I want to send things to the database. I want to add this user. So I will put the same password. Yeah, I have this error because I didn't migrate what I have added to the database. So I will go to the terminal and make a migration, PHP bin console. Make migration. And then make migration migrate. Doctrine migration migrate. And now if I refresh, I'm supposed to have a user created in the database. If I go to my blog user, I have now this user with this hashed password. So I would like to add some new properties to my database. I want to add a first name and last name. So I go to the command line and hit PHP bin console, make entity, and then the entity that I want to add is user. It exists already, so I want to add a first name. It's a string, and then a last name. Same thing, not nullable. Okay, then I make a migration, and then send things to the database. Doctrine migration migrate. And now I have new properties in my database. I have first name and last name. So I would like to add them to the registration form. So here register, I will make a go to registration form. I will go to my base.html.twig and I'll grab this path. Here I will just put register. That's the name of my route. Register, I will check it. Is it named register or something else? The name here is app register. I will rename it register. And if I refresh, I have no more error. I can go to register now. So to add first name, last name fields, I will go and use text type. And I'll grab this class and rename it text type here. Text type. I don't use these two lines, so I will delete them. I will copy this one and then make what I want to put as data. So I will delete these lines. Delete the builder here. This one as well. And here the property I want to use is first name. It's a text type. Here as well, I have a last name, which is a text type. And then I will go back to my form here and refresh. I have my fields that are coming here down. To resolve that problem, I will go to register.html.twig because we use here a row. So I will copy this one. I want to make them under email. So here I will just make first name. In here, last name. I don't need this one. I don't want to agree terms. So I will get rid of it here and then go to register from type and delete this part. Then go back to my page and refresh. Now I have email, first name, last name, password, repeat password, and register. Here I will give it a class, btn success, a bootstrap class. Make some spacing. Now I can add a new user, test1, user one, last name, a password. I repeat the password, and the user is now created. If I go back to the database, I have my user one with his first name, user one, and his last name. This user can now log in, but we have to add some things to allow him to log in. Yeah, I will go back to command line and make php bin console, make auth, authentication. I want to make a login form authenticator, so I put number 1, and then the class that I want to create for authentication, I will just name it up authenticator. And then the security controller, I will leave it like this. I want to generate a logout URL, no problem. And there was an app authenticator class that was created, a security YAML which was updated. So now if we go to our code, in the security YAML, we have this part, password hasher, for hashing the password. It uses the password authenticator user interface. And we have the provider of our user, which is the class app entity user. And the property that we consider for authentication is email. There is this class app authenticator.php, which uses some methods like authenticate, which verifies the email, and if it's success, we have a response with success. And here we have to put the route to which we go when we are logged in. And here I will make post as I have done with the registration form. We have the security controller. It has 2 controllers, the login and the logout, and this is the login page here. If we go to login, we have it like this. We have an email and we have a password. So if we put this email, test1@test.com, and a false password, we will have invalid credentials. Now I will type a true user and true password. So I will copy this email here and then type a real password. Now I am connected. If I go to the profiler, I see here that here is the email of the user and we have a logout link here. Now if I go to my post controller, here at the beginning I can see the content of my current user with this get user. If I refresh my page, I have this object, I have the email, I have the password, hash password, the first name and the last name. If I go quickly to the database and here just leave last name without the user one and then refresh here, I will have the modification directly here. If I delete this, go back to my home page and then log out, I will realize that there is no more a user here. So I will go to my first user here. I will call him John Doe. and then I will connect with this email. I will go to login. I will add its path here in the base.html.twig. I will copy this one, come here, make a plugin. If I refresh, I can now go to the login page directly. I will use test.com and then the password. Now it's the other user who is connected. If I go back to my post controller and put this dd get user, I will have the current user with his properties. I can also add a path for the logout. If I check here in the security controller, the name here is app_logout. I will go to the base.html.twig and then go to the logout here and add a path with app_logout. So if I refresh, now I can log out, but the button logout is always appearing. The object this that we have used in post controller, we can use it in Twig with the keyword up. So if I go here to the base.html.twig, here I will add an if statement. If up user, if there is a user connected, I'll close this if, and if there is a user connected, I will need the app_logout and the create post. So if I go back and refresh, now as I'm not connected, I'm not logged in, I have posts. Everyone can have access to posts, the login page, the register. And now if I log in with a user, I have these new buttons, the logout and the create a post. I will log out, but here if anyone comes to our website and makes a route for creating a new post, he has the access, and this is not a normal behavior. So to get a solution for that, we'll use the voter of Symfony. Voter Symfony. We can just at this level say if there is no connected user, we will throw this create access denied exception. If there is no this get user, we will create this access denied exception. So if I refresh, the user goes to the login page. So now if I try again, it's like post new, I will not be able to go there. Now I will log in. And in this case, the user can create a post. The same thing for comments. To be able to get a comment, you have to be connected. So I can go to comment here. For comment, I will go to the show.html.twig. For this part, I will say if up user. So any connected user can leave a comment, and if make this like this, and if I refresh, now as I am connected, I can leave a comment. Otherwise, there is no forum comments. Same thing for edit the post. If you're not the owner of this post, you cannot edit it. So I will make a condition for that. For the edit here, I will make a condition. I will say if up user is equal to post, this post other. For that, I need to create the relationship between the user, who is the author here, and the post. So I will go back to the initial state and then go to my terminal, make php bin console make entity, and the entity I want to modify is post. It already exists. I want to add a property named author. It's a relation, and then it's related to the class user, and the type is many-to-one. So we will have a post author, yes. We will have a user posts, because every user can have many posts, and the field in the user entity will be named posts, no problem. I will send that to the database. And now, if I go back to my entity posts, I have the new property author here with the many-to-one relation. The same thing in user. I have posts with one-to-many, and in the database I have this new author ID column. I will go back to my post controller and I will say, when I create a new post, I will add the created time, the created at, then I will say that a post set author, the author will be this user, the current user. So when I log in, and go to create a post, I will choose an image, this HTML image, and now automatically this post will be related to this user. It's this get user. So I will refresh. And now the post was added and the author is the current user. If I go to the last one, this one on page number 5, its author is the connected user. I can go to posts and then go to the last page, and then here I have a user ID which is equal to 1 here. If I go to user, the user with ID number 1 is this one, the connected user here. I want to add this here, so I will go to my index.html.twig page and modify that there. Here it was by, so now it's by I will make a condition here. If posts, if there is a post user, else, then I will make and if there is a post user, so I will display the author here. So I will display post user like first name, else I will make just user. That's it. And now if I refresh, the property, it's not user but author. I named it author in my entity. I refresh. Of course, if post author. So if I refresh, I have the first name related to this user. If I use his last name as a property here, last name, I will have his last name here, though. So I will leave first name. For all the other posts, I have user because they didn't have an author, a connected author. If I go to details, now I have to say that a user has the right to edit only his own posts. So I have to go to show.html.twig. If the current user, up user, is the same as the post author, so I will display the edit post button. Then I will make and if. So if I refresh here, because the current user didn't create this post, we don't have the edit page. So if I go back to my posts, I go to the last post. This is created by this user. So if I go to read more, now he can edit it without problem. Now if we go to any other one, we will not find the edit here, but if we go to the link here, edit, this user, although he didn't write this one, he can edit it. So we go to the post controller here, and we will put something like what we have made for creation. So I have to say here, if the current user is not the user who wrote the post, I have a post, get other, I will have a access denied exception. So if I refresh, access is denied. But this user, if he go back to a post that he has created, this one for example, he can access to the edit. And if I copy this, I make it here, I make edit, he can access because this is his post. He has created it. If I make 107, for example, access denied. I have to modify a behavior here before ending. When I am logged in, I realize that I have all the buttons here. It's not a behavior I want. So these two buttons, register and login and register, I want to make them in an else to avoid this behavior. So I will come here and say else. So if there is not a user connected, I will grab these two links here and make them in the else. So if I refresh, I have only the buttons I want. I have only the links I want. If I go, if I log out, I have login, register, and posts.